guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I'm outside again. It's so beautiful outside. It's raining, so I might have to run off after this video, but I thought that it was a nice day. It's beautiful, it's warm, I love it. Anyways, in this video I want to speak to you guys about something that I've been thinking about a lot, and it's this desire that as an INFJ I have for honesty, for directness, for avoiding misinformation. I was actually speaking to a girlfriend of mine about this, and she's an INFJ, and she said that she has this weird thing where she has to ensure that everything that she says is honest, absolutely 100% honest. And so if she does say something by mistake that is dishonest, if she says that it was left on the left but it was actually on the right, she has to make sure that she goes in and corrects herself with that individual. So she calls her or messages that person and says, oh, I'm sorry, this is what I said, but this is actually what was the case, right? So she has to correct herself. And if she doesn't, she kind of dwells upon it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end. I'm exactly the same way. I have to make sure that whatever I say is absolutely honest. Has to be impeccable. My word has to be absolutely impeccable. I have to absolutely be the most honest person around. Even if everyone else is lying, I have to make sure that I am honest. And if I cannot be honest, if there's something that's preventing me from being honest, then I have to make sure that I either step away from that situation or I don't say anything. I'm not going to say something that's dishonest, but I can avoid saying the truth. I can just say, I can just be quiet. That's why I spend a lot of my time being quiet as well, because in a lot of situations you just have to be dishonest, not necessarily in terms of white lies. Like if someone is fat or like looking not that great and they ask me, oh, do I look all right? And I'll be like, yeah, you look great. That's not the kind of honesty I'm talking about. Not the kind of honesty that hurts people, but the kind of honesty that comes from the heart. It's the kind of honesty where, for example, I grew up in a family where there were a lot of lies all the time. Not in terms of the fact that, we were lying to each other deliberately, but it was just the kind of place where, parents always say this to you. Parents are always saying, oh, don't talk about that stuff. We don't talk about that in this family. Or don't talk about that. We don't talk about that in our family. Or, don't talk about your aunt who is pregnant without being married, because we don't talk about that. Or don't talk about your father who, not that my father was, I'm just giving an example. Don't talk about your father who's an alcoholic, because we don't talk about that. Or things like that, You know how families have those secrets, those kind of things where we don't talk about those things because, it's just something that is a secret. And there's so many secrets in every family. I hate that. That's the reason I don't want to have my own family, because I know that there's going to be loads of secrets in my family and I can't even deal with that. And so pure 100% honesty is what I really aspired towards, because I knew that at home or in my family or in the world, there's so many secrets all over the place. There's so much going on in the world right now, even in terms of the conspiracy theories, if you think about it, or in terms of the fact that we're not told everything that's going on. Like there are all these experiments being run and all these bombs being thrown out and all these things happening that the media is hiding from us, because there's dishonesty all over the world. And so because of that perpetuation of all that mistrust, all that misinformation, all that dishonesty around me throughout my life, my thing right now as an INFJ, as an individual, as trying to be the best version of myself, is to be absolutely and perfectly honest with everything that I do. No matter what's going on around me, my word has to be impeccable. So if I say that I'm a vegetarian, then I damn well as be a vegetarian. I should not be eating any meat, right? And if I say that I'm a pescatarian, then yeah, sure, that's what I should be doing. If I say that I am something, and if I'm not, then I have to correct that situation as soon as possible. For example, if I say that I am single and I'm not, which I'm just giving an example, then I have to make sure that I clarify that. So I either break up with that person, or whoever I told to that I'm single, that I tell them, I'm sorry, I'm not single, I'm actually dating someone, right? And so this is the kind of thing that we do as INFJs. Now, obviously, I've had this conversation with you guys before in terms of nature versus nurture. What is it? Are we like this because of our environment in the past, or are we like this because we want to be like this, because we love honesty, because we love directness, because we want people to be honest and direct with us? We don't want to beat around the bush. We don't want to tell lies to people unless it's absolutely freaking necessary, in terms of the fact that, if someone's asking me, oh, do you think I'm going to die? And they're, in the operating room, I'm not going to say, yeah, you're going to die. I don't think there's any hope for you. No, I'm going to say, no, you're not going to die. You have absolute hope. You're going to live. You're going to live for 100 more years, blah, 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 right? I mean, that kind of thing. So white lies don't really count, but I do think that in general terms, INFJs have this thing where we want to be absolutely honest with everything and everyone around us. Everything. It's just so important to us that we will work extra hard to make sure that we are honest. And in the world right now, in the world that we live in right now, which is filled with dishonesty, not in the way that everyone's lying to each other, but there's a lot of backstabbing going on around the world. There's a lot of people who lie, especially politics and politicians. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world that makes you feel like everyone is just hiding themselves all the time and not really being truthful. In this kind of world particularly, I think it's really important for an INFJ to exist and to be authentic and to be honest about everything that's happening around them. It's really, really important that we show everyone else the path to honesty. We show them how to be honest. It's very easy, actually. In fact, I find it much easier to be honest than to be dishonest, because if you're dishonest, you have to remember all these freaking stories. What did I say to that person? I told them this, I told them that, blah, blah, blah. I can't keep track of all that stuff. I have other things to keep track of. My brain is being used. My mental power is being used for other stuff, right? So I don't have time to think about, what did I tell that person? Did I tell them that it was this way or that way? Did I tell them to go this way? I don't know. I don't want to keep track of it. I'll just tell them the honest truth. And if that's the honest truth, and I only have to remember the honest truth, then life is so much easier. Then I don't have to think about all the stories that I told someone. I don't have to wonder about, what did I tell this person? Did I tell them that I was single, or did I tell them that I was dating someone for 20 years? What was the truth? What is going on here? You don't have to remember anything. Also, as INFJs, we have terrible poker faces. I mean, terrible. I am terrible at poker because I cannot keep a poker face. Everyone knows what's in my mind. I'm extremely transparent, or at least I try to be. And so it's hard for me to show up being dishonest, because everyone always knows that I'm being dishonest. Everyone always knows. When I was a child, my mom always trusted my word, and she would say this to me. She's like, tell me what actually happened. And I'd be like, I'd tell her what happened. And she's like, if I say something, and even if it doesn't make sense, she would always believe me, because she's like, well, you always tell the truth, so I have to believe you, right? The same thing when I was at work, and I'd tell people, my supervisor would ask me, you're late today. What happened? You're never late. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. And she'd be like, have you ever been late before? I'm like, yeah, I've been late dozens of times. Well, lots of times. And she'd be like, well, you could have lied. If you had said no, then I could have let you go. But this time around, if you've been late many times before, I have to charge you for it. I have to dock pay for you. And I was like, that's fine. Dock the pay. I'm not going to lie about something so measly as of the fact that I was late. I'm not going to lie about something so small and so inconsequential, right? It doesn't really make difference to me if you dock my pay. It's not a big deal. The more important thing for me as an INFJ is to be honest, to tell them the absolute truth, even if it results in me being docked for my pay, or for me being reprimanded, or me getting into trouble. The most important thing as an INFJ is to tell the truth, the absolute truth, the truth that is the truth to us. Now, of course, our truth might differ from someone else's truth, but that doesn't matter. The truth as it is for us, that's the truth that we want to tell the world. And we want to make sure, no matter what happens, that we're always telling the truth. It's so important to us that we will go out of our way, as I said, to make sure that we're telling the truth. How does this make sense to you guys? Does it make sense? Does it jive with you? Do you guys think the same way? I'd love to hear from you guys. Again, I hope that you guys are enjoying my outdoor videos. It is raining today, as you guys can tell, all the puddles behind me. But it's so beautiful. It's so nice in Toronto. It's so crisp, the weather. It's like, fall weather. It's so crisp, and all the leaves are falling, and it's so green, and it's so beautiful. And I'm so grateful to share this space with you guys. If you guys have any questions at all, please message me anytime. All my contact information is in the description below, or you can contact me, just message me by commenting below. I'd love to read your comments. I'll read all of them at the moment, because there are not that many. And I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.